Everybody knows what happens to a beautiful state once the country figures it out. The prices go up, the small towns fill in. The land gets bought, sold, and priced out of reach for the people who actually grew up there. Tennessee is one of the most famous states in the country. Everybody's heard the music, seen the mountains, driven through on the way to somewhere. You'd think a place this well-known would be picked clean by now. It isn't. Get an hour off the highway, past the towns everyone recognizes, and the deals are still sitting there. More of them than you'd ever expect from a state this loved. And here's the part that gets people. No state income tax. Tennessee doesn't touch a dollar of what you earn or what you retire on. But that's just the number that gets you in the door. What keeps you looking is what that money actually buys out here. Mountaintops with the whole valley spread out below you. Farmhouses sitting on acres of your own land. Room to breathe, room to build. And the kind of freedom that comes from owning a real piece of ground. The kind the rest of the country stopped believing you could afford. I found 12 houses. From $289,000 all the way down to $34,900. I'm Joseph, and I'm retired. Every week I pick a state and go digging through the listings until I find the ones worth showing you. Tennessee kept me busy this week. If you like what you see, subscribe to my channel Tiny Bucks Houses so you catch them before everyone else does. Stay with me until the end, because the last house completely changed the way I think about what's still possible at this price point. You pull up the blacktop drive, past the shade trees, and the first thing that hits you is how much room there is to breathe. 16 acres of it. A brick home sitting easy in the middle of all that green. Kept, cared for, the kind of place somebody put real love into, and it shows the second you walk through the door. This isn't a fixer waiting on somebody's vision. This is move-in ready, land and all. But let's start inside, because someone kept this place the way you keep something you love. The kitchen opens up wide. An island in the middle, a breakfast bar along one side, wood cabinets wrapping the room, and enough counter space that two people can cook a holiday dinner without ever bumping elbows. The appliances stay with the house. Right off the kitchen, there's a formal dining room, the kind of room that only exists in houses built back when families still sat down together every night. The living room is where this house slows you down. A fireplace anchors one wall, and across from it, a big bay window pulls the whole outside in. Trees, grass, 16 acres of Tennessee doing whatever it wants. Hardwood look flooring runs warm underfoot. It's the room you'd end up in every evening, whether you plan to or not. All three bedrooms sit on the main level. No stairs to climb at the end of a long day. At my age, that's not a small thing, and I know a lot of you watching feel the same way. Carpet soft underfoot, windows in every room, closets that hold more than you'd expect. 2 full bathrooms, one of them tiled and finished clean. Now step outside, because this is where 16 acres starts talking. There's a 2-car garage with a workshop built right in, and next to it, a separate shop with a lean-to, plus another storage building past that. Whatever your hobby is, whatever you've been meaning to build or fix or store, the space is already here waiting. A blacktop drive runs smooth up to the house. The yard's fenced. And past the fence, open land, some cleared, some wooded, enough room to disappear into for an afternoon and not see another soul. Now let me show you where this is. A town of about 700 people down in the far southwest corner of Tennessee, close enough to the Mississippi line that you could be in another state before lunch. This is slow country, the kind of place where you know the person behind the grocery counter and the traffic is somebody's tractor moving between fields, but you're not stuck in the middle of nowhere. Big Hill Pond State Park sits just south of here, over 4,000 acres of timber and bottomland with fishing, hiking, and miles of horse trails winding through the woods. And every fall, Selmer throws the Broomcorn Festival, one of the oldest folk art gatherings in the whole Southeast, where people still make brooms by hand the way their great-grandparents did. It's the kind of small town that's easy to underestimate until you actually spend a weekend in one. So here's what you're getting. 16 acres of Tennessee, a brick home that's been loved and kept, a fireplace and a bay window, 3 bedrooms all on one floor, and enough workshop and garage space to keep a person busy for the rest of their life. $289,900. I honestly didn't expect to find one of the best houses I've ever featured this early in the video, But the next property immediately became one of the most unforgettable homes I've ever seen. There's a moment in the drone footage of this place where the camera lifts above the ridge and you actually stop what you're doing. Green mountains rolling out in every direction, layer behind layer, until somewhere out past all of it, a slice of Norris Lake catches the light. This is East Tennessee doing the thing East Tennessee is famous for, and someone gets to wake up to it every single morning. The property sits on about 5.5 acres spread across 3 separate parcels, all included high up where the views come standard. The house itself is a comfortable 2-bedroom, 2-bath, but the room that sells it is the sunroom. Heated, wrapped in glass on nearly every side, it hangs out toward the valley like the whole point of building here was to sit in this one room and watch the seasons turn. Morning coffee in that sunroom is the kind of thing people spend their whole working lives saving up for. Inside, it's honest and lived in. The eat-in kitchen sits open to the living space, wood cabinets and room for a table where the morning starts. Both bedrooms are comfortable and full-sized, and both bathrooms are functional and clean. One of them worked over with a walk-in tiled shower and grab bars, the kind of thoughtful touch that means you could live here comfortably for a very long time without ever needing to change a thing. But this property was never really about what's inside the walls. It's about everything wrapped around them. So step outside, because the list of what comes with this place is almost hard to believe. There's a heated and cooled shed, not a shed in the usual sense, a real finished space you could turn into a workshop, an office, a studio, a gym. There's a whole house generator, so when the power goes out up here, you don't even notice. An outdoor wood furnace, backup propane heat, a private well, a garden already worked and waiting, and an extra-large pool with a deck built around it for the summers when the mountain air is warm but never quite as heavy as it is down in the flatlands. And the whole thing is fenced with removable carports and room to bring animals, plant more, build more, or just let 5.5 acres be exactly as private as you want it. Now let me show you where this is. A town of about 2,500 people sitting in a long green valley in East Tennessee, just 15 minutes north of Knoxville. So you've got a real city with hospitals, shopping, and an airport close by, while you live somewhere that feels 100 miles removed from all of it. But the real draw is 5 minutes up the road. Norris Lake, 800 miles of shoreline, water so clean it's been called one of the clearest lakes in the whole state, with marinas, boat ramps, and fishing that people drive in from other states to get to. So here's what this comes down to. 5.5 acres on a mountaintop with a lake nearby, a pool, a garden, a heated workshop, a generator for when the lights go out, and a glass sunroom pointed straight at the best view in the county. $250,000. At first glance, the next house doesn't seem like it's trying to compete with the last one, but give it a minute and you might find yourself thinking about it even longer. Some houses put everything they've got out front. This one keeps its best card underneath. From the road, it's an easy brick ranch on a quiet street, tucked back under old shade trees that have been dropping leaves on this lot for longer than most of us have been alive. 2.5 acres, 1 story, nothing that shows off. And then you find out there's a full basement running the entire footprint of the house. And suddenly, this little ranch has twice the room you thought it did. Let's walk the main floor first. The kitchen has warm wood cabinets and a breakfast bar, the spot where you actually eat most of your meals, no matter how nice the dining room is. There's a separate living room with hardwood underfoot and light coming in easy through the windows. It's not flashy. It's comfortable, in the way a house gets when somebody's lived in it a long time and taken care of it the whole way through. All 3 bedrooms are on the main level. No stairs at the end of the day. Everything on 1 floor the way it should be. 2 bathrooms handle the traffic, simple and honest. Now go down the stairs, because the basement is the reason to pay attention here. It runs the full length of the house, unfinished, wide open, concrete, and possibility. Most people would call it storage, but a space this size is a workshop, a hobby room, a shelter when the weather turns, a place to finish into extra living space down the road. You're getting a second house's worth of square footage under the first one, and it's already paid for. Outside, a covered carport keeps the car out of the weather, and a covered back deck looks out over 2 acres of trees and grass where the only company is whatever the birds are up to. There's room out here to garden, to keep a dog, to sit in the evening and hear absolutely nothing. Now let me show you where this is. This is the county seat, about 4,500 people, the biggest town around here, with the grocery stores, the hospital, the restaurants, everything you'd drive 20 minutes for somewhere else, all right here. But here's what makes Selmer worth knowing. This little town sits right on the Rockabilly Highway, and that name is no gimmick. Back in the 1950s, this is where rockabilly music was practically born. Carl Perkins played the jamborees downtown. Elvis Presley gave his first show outside of Memphis, just up the road. Every June, the whole town fills up for the Rockabilly Highway revival. Classic cars, live music, and people who drive in from as far as Europe to stand on the ground where rock and roll got its start. So here's the math on this one. A solid brick ranch on 2.5 acres, all one level, with a full basement underneath that basically doubles the house, in a real town with real history 5 minutes down the road. $598 a year in taxes. I had no idea the next house was about to completely hijack my attention, but by the end of the listing, I wasn't even thinking about the rest of this video anymore. You don't see many houses like this one. From the outside, it's a barn. Real gambrel roof, that classic curved barn shape, dark weathered wood, the kind of building you'd expect to find hay in. But somebody looked at it and saw a home, and what they did on the inside is going to make a lot of you stop this video and back it up. Step through the door, and the whole thing opens up. Knotty pine runs across a soaring cathedral ceiling, warm and golden, following the peak of that barn roof all the way up. Hardwood floors stretch out underneath, wide and clean. There's a modern electric fireplace set into a stone wall, a staircase leading up to a loft space, and light pouring in from every direction. It feels like a mountain lodge and a farmhouse had a very good idea together. The kitchen is the part people fall for. Sage green shaker cabinets, butcher block countertops, thick and warm, a deep farmhouse sink under the window, subway tile on the walls, stainless appliances, and open wood shelving holding the everyday things. This is the kitchen people spend thousands trying to fake in a suburban house, and here it just is, done right, done real. 2 bedrooms sit on the main level, comfortable and finished in the same warm wood tones. There's an office that works fine as a 3rd bedroom if you need it. And upstairs, that big bonus room under the peak of the roof is ready to be whatever you want. A 3rd bedroom, a studio, a den where you can hear the rain on the metal roof at night. The bathroom's been done clean and simple. And here's the smart part. The water lines are already run upstairs. So if you ever want to add a 2nd bath, half the work is done. And this isn't just a pretty face. The bones have been handled, new electrical, new plumbing throughout. A brand new HVAC system put in at the end of 2024. The expensive, invisible headache work, the stuff that scares people off old buildings, is already finished. You're buying the fun part. Now walk the land because there's 3 acres here, and it earns its keep. This is set up as a genuine hunting property. There's a deer blind and feeders already in place, trails through the trees, and enough room that you could step off the back porch with a cup of coffee and watch the woods wake up. Now let me show you where this is. A quiet town of about 1,700 people in southern Middle Tennessee, close enough to the Alabama line that you can be across it in a few minutes. Life here is slow and easy. A few shops downtown, a grocery run close by, and a pace that lets you actually breathe. But the reason people love this county is what's right down the road. This is Amish country, the biggest old-order Amish community in the whole South. Drive a few minutes north, and you're passing horse-drawn buggies, stopping at handmade roadside stands for fresh bread, jam, furniture, and produce grown the old way. You can buy a hand-built rocking chair from the family that made it. And when you want to get outside, David Crockett State Park is close. Trails, a waterfall, fishing, and creek water, cold enough to cool your feet on a summer afternoon. This is the kind of place where the weekends fill themselves. So here's what makes this one special. A barn somebody turned into a beautiful home, cathedral ceilings, a farmhouse kitchen, all the expensive work already done, sitting on 3 wooded acres set up for hunting. $270 a year in taxes. The next house is where this video stopped feeling like a list of good deals and started feeling like a collection of homes I'll remember for a very long time. Somebody built this house to be beautiful. You can still see it, even now, even empty. A 1908 Victorian standing in the heart of downtown Savannah, white wood siding, a covered front porch held up by columns, a brick chimney, and those steep roof lines that builders stopped bothering with 100 years ago. It's over a century old, it's waiting on somebody, and at $92 a square foot, it might be the most house you can buy for the money in this whole video. Walk through the front door, and the first thing you notice is the space. High ceilings, big rooms, and floors that shift from warm hardwood in some rooms to tile and carpet in others. Light comes in through tall windows and moves across the floor as the day goes. There's a fireplace anchoring the living room, wide doorways connecting one room to the next, and a layout that flows the way houses did back when every room had a purpose and a door. The kitchen has warm wood cabinets and an island in the middle. Room to cook, room to gather, room for people to lean and talk while dinner comes together. Off of it there's a formal dining room, the kind of room built for Sunday dinners and holidays that run late. All 4 bedrooms sit on the main level, and that's rarer than it sounds in a house this old and this big. No stairs to climb, everything on one floor, 4 real bedrooms with real windows and real closets. 2 full bathrooms handle the rest. And here's the part that seals it. This house isn't out on some back road, it's in town. You can walk to Main Street from the front porch. And when the drone lifts up over the property, you see why that matters. Because just past the rooftops, the Tennessee River rolls by wide and slow, and this whole town is built along its bluff. Now let me show you where this is. About 7,000 people sitting right on the Tennessee River in the southwest corner of the state. They call it the catfish capital of the world, and they mean it. The riverfront restaurants here have been frying fish for 80 years, and people drive in from 3 states to eat it. Downtown is walkable and alive. A coffee shop, a bakery, boutiques, a farmer's market on Wednesdays, and a historic district you can tour on foot. 10 minutes south is Shiloh, one of the best preserved Civil War battlefields in the country. And Pickwick Lake is right down the road. 40,000 acres of water for fishing, boating, and swimming all summer long. There's a hospital in town, an airport, everything you need. So here's what you're looking at. A 1908 Victorian with hardwood floors, a fireplace, an island kitchen, and 4 bedrooms, all on one floor. Walking distance to Main Street in a river town people vacation to. The next house is the kind of place that makes you wonder how many people could comfortably disappear inside it and still have room to spare. From the road, this is a long, low brick ranch stretched out under the shade trees, the kind of house you'd drive past 100 times without a second look. But this one's got a secret, and you find it the moment you step into the main living space. The ceiling opens up into a full cathedral peak, wide wood beams running across it, corrugated metal set between them catching the light, the whole thing soaring overhead where you'd expect a flat white ceiling. It's the kind of detail nobody puts in a house anymore. And it turns an ordinary ranch into a room you actually want to sit in. There's a fireplace to gather around, wood cabinets in the kitchen, and windows framed in old wood that let the afternoon in. This is a 3-bedroom, and every one of them sits on the main level. No stairs, everything on one floor, laid out simple and easy. There's also a bonus room that works as an office, a craft room, a hobby space, whatever you need a door on. 2 full bathrooms round it out. The kitchen and dining flow together in an eat-in setup, with a pantry off to the side and room for the whole family at the table. Now, I'll be straight with you. This house wants some updating. The carpet's dated, a few rooms need fresh paint, and a personal touch. But here's the number that makes it worth it. The county has this place assessed at over $214,000, and it's listed at $165,000. You're buying it for well under what the county already says it's worth, and it's livable the whole time you're fixing it up. You move in, you take your time, you make it yours, no rush, no rent, no camping in a construction zone. Step outside and you've got 3.5 acres of level, wooded Tennessee, a covered patio off the back, a side entry garage, and room to spread out. Trees on the edges, grass in the middle, quiet in every direction. Enough land to garden, to keep animals, to let a dog run, or just to own a piece of ground that's yours all the way to the tree line. Now let me show you where this is. A tiny town of a few hundred people in Hardeman County, down in the southwest corner of Tennessee. This is deep, quiet country. Toon was a brick town once, and if you look close, a lot of the old houses around here are still built from bricks made right in this community over 100 years ago. Bolivar, the county seat, is about 10 minutes south with your grocery stores, a hospital, and restaurants. But the real gift out here is the land itself. Hardeman County calls itself the hardwood capital of Tennessee, and in the fall, the whole county lights up in maple and oak and hickory. The Hatchie River runs through the county too, the last big, unchannelized river in West Tennessee, wild the way it's always been, thick with fish and wildlife. This is the kind of place where you come to slow all the way down. So here's the deal on this one. A brick ranch with a cathedral ceiling you'd never expect. 3 bedrooms all on one floor, a bonus room, and 3.5 acres of wooded land. Priced $50,000 under what the county says it's worth. The next house isn't the biggest or the flashiest in this video, but it might just win more people over than anything we've seen so far. Some houses you have to imagine yourself into. This one you just walk into and feel at home. It's a 1947 cottage sitting on a big corner lot in the little town of Dyer. And the moment you step through the door, it wraps around you. Warm, knotty pine paneling glowing on the walls, pine running across the ceilings, the kind of golden wood that only gets richer with age. The living room is bright and comfortable, with a mix of hardwood and warm wood tones underfoot. There's a wood hutch in the dining area, one of those pieces that came with the house and would cost a fortune to add today. The kitchen carries the same warmth, wood cabinets, stainless steel appliances, a window over the sink looking out at the yard. It's the kind of kitchen where you can already picture the coffee pot going in the morning. 2 bedrooms sit on the main level, both real rooms with good light, both warm and easy. 1 full bathroom serves them, done clean and simple. And here's the bonus most cottages this size don't offer. There's a full unfinished attic upstairs and a partial basement below, so you've got real storage or a workshop or space to expand into down the road. Central heat and air keep the whole thing comfortable year-round, so nothing about living here is roughing it. Outside is where the lot earns its keep. Nearly 1.5 acres, big for a house in town, with mature shade trees, a covered front porch with rocking chairs already waiting, a covered back deck, a 2-car carport, and a storage shed out back. Room to garden, room for the grandkids to run, room to sit on that porch in the evening and watch the town go quiet. Now let me show you where this is. A small town of about 2,300 people up in the northwest corner of Tennessee in Gibson County. Rolling farm country, quiet streets, the kind of place where the whole town turns out for the same events. Dyer started as a railroad stop over 100 years ago. Dyer Station, they called it. And that name still lives on in the big 4th of July celebration downtown every summer, with a parade, fireworks, a carnival, and a street dance that fills Main Street. You've got your grocery, your schools, your churches all close by. Jackson is about 40 minutes south when you want a bigger city with the hospitals and the shopping. But out here, life runs at the pace of a small town that still knows how to throw a party. So here's what $135,000 gets you in Tennessee. A warm 1947 cottage full of knotty pine, 2 bedrooms, central heat and air, a full attic and basement for storage, and nearly 1.5 acres in town. I kept changing my mind about what the best part of the next property was, and that's usually a very good sign. Everything on this list so far has been out in the country. Land, quiet, acres between you and the neighbors. This one's different, and for the right buyer that's the whole appeal. This is a brick home in Memphis, and at just $124,900, it's an incredibly affordable way to own a home in one of America's great cities. Built in 2002, it's one of the newer houses in this video, which means the bones are modern, the systems are up to date, and there's none of the century-old surprises that come with an old farmhouse. It's a 3-bedroom with 2.5 baths and a 2-car garage, laid out with a functional floor plan that just works. Inside, warm hardwood floors run through the main living areas, catching the light from the windows. The living room opens up with a staircase along one wall and good ceiling height overhead. The kitchen has solid wood cabinets and room to work. honest and functional, ready for somebody to cook real meals in. Upstairs, the bedrooms are comfortable and quiet, set away from the living space, and there's enough room in the primary to actually stretch out. Now, this house needs a little cosmetic love, some fresh paint, a little cleanup, and it shines. But there's no structural drama here. This is a solid modern brick house that needs a weekend of work and a good scrub, not a gut renovation. For somebody who wants to build equity, fix it up, live in it, or rent it out, this is exactly the kind of house that makes sense. Out back there's a fenced yard with a little privacy, room for a grill and a couple of chairs, a spot for the dog. It's not 16 acres, but it's yours, it's low maintenance, and it's 10 feet from your back door. Now let me show you where this is. This house sits in Raleigh, a neighborhood up in the north end of Memphis. It sits on one of the highest bluffs in the whole city, up above the Wolf River, and 100 years ago people used to travel out here to drink from the Raleigh Springs, which were said to have healing water. Today, it's a quiet, established neighborhood of brick ranch homes and shade trees, with the brand new Raleigh Springs Civic Center, a library, a park, walking trails around an 11-acre pond, and a skate park right down the road. And here's the thing about living here. You're 15 minutes from downtown Memphis. Beale Street, the Blues, barbecue that people fly in for, Graceland, the Mississippi River. The whole reason the world knows the name Memphis, all of it, 15 minutes from this front door. So here's the trade-off with this one. You give up the acreage, but you get a modern brick house in a real American city. 3 bedrooms, a 2-car garage, hardwood floors, 15 minutes from Beale Street. $124,900. Just when I thought this video had already shown me everything it had to offer, the next property managed to surprise me in a completely different way. Some places just feel like Tennessee the second you see them. This one does. A 1935 farmhouse standing on a rise, dark weathered wood siding, a metal roof, and a long covered porch running the full front of the house. The kind of porch built for sitting out in the evening and watching the light go down over the ridges. It's over 90 years old. It's got history in every board, and at $72 a square foot, somebody's about to get a real piece of this state. Step inside, and the character comes with you. Original hardwood floors run through the house, worn smooth by decades of footsteps. The kind of floors you can't buy new. There's a brick fireplace anchoring the living room, a big open living area, and a large kitchen with room to spread out. It's a 3-bedroom with 1 bath and just over 1,600 square feet. A real farmhouse footprint, not a tight little cottage. There's a wood stove for heat, central air for the summers, and the honest, solid frame of a house built back when they didn't cut corners. But here's the part that turns this from a house into a homestead. Out back sits a 3-story barn, a real one, with a bay door, its own separate electrical meter, and the option for gas heat already run to it. That's not a shed. That's a serious building, a workshop, a place for livestock, storage, a hobby space big enough to actually do something in. There's a 10 by 20 storage building on top of that, and it all sits on a cleared acre and a bit, with mature trees and room to breathe. Now let me show you where this is. A small town of about 2,000 people sitting high up on the Cumberland Plateau in the eastern part of the state, up where the summers stay cooler and the air feels a little cleaner than down in the valleys. This is rugged, beautiful country. Fentress County is still 90% wilderness, all bluffs and winding streams and forest. Just up the road is the Big South Fork, 125,000 acres of national river and recreation area with Swallow Lake, one of the clearest lakes in the country, is close by too. So here's what $120,000 gets you up on the plateau. A real 1935 Tennessee farmhouse with original hardwood floors and a fireplace, a 3-story barn, and an acre of cleared land in some of the most beautiful wild country in the state. I saved some of my favorite discoveries for the final stretch, and the next house is where that really starts to show. They don't build them like this anymore, and they haven't for over a century. This is a 1900 home in an established neighborhood, soft blue siding, a covered front porch held up by white columns, a central dormer peeking out of the roofline, and the kind of symmetry that makes you slow the car down. 125 years old, and at $50 a square foot, it's the lowest price per foot on this entire list. Now this one's empty, and it's waiting on somebody with vision. But the character it's holding onto is the kind you cannot buy new at any price. Walk through and you find French doors with glass panels between the rooms, ceilings high enough to change how a room feels, and hardwood floors running underneath. There are 2 decorative fireplaces, one of them set into a wall with tile work around it, the kind of detail that anchored a room back when a fireplace was the heart of the house. The kitchen surprises you. Someone put warm cherry wood cabinets in here, with an island in the middle. A genuinely nice kitchen sitting inside a house that costs less than $100,000. And in the bathroom, there's a clawfoot tub. The real thing, the kind people rip out of old houses and sell, still sitting right where it belongs. All 3 bedrooms are on the main level, no stairs to climb, and they're big real bedrooms, the primary running 17 by 15 feet. That's a lot of house on one easy floor. Nearly 2,000 square feet total, and every room has that turn-of-the-century height and light. Yes, it needs work, I won't pretend otherwise. But the price gives you all the room in the world to do it, and what's already here, the columns, the French doors, the fireplaces, the clawfoot tub, the cherry kitchen, is the expensive, irreplaceable stuff that money mostly can't recreate. Now let me show you where this is. A town of about 8,000 people in Gibson County, the same rolling West Tennessee farm country we saw earlier, but a bigger town with more going on. Milan's got its own hospital, its own school district, a downtown with a historic movie theater still running, shops, restaurants, and a farmer's market behind City Hall twice a week. There's a lake nearby for fishing, a golf course, a big city park with a pool. This is a small town that actually has its act together, and a 100-year-old house in the middle of it for $99,000. So here's the last of the bigger homes on this list. A 1900 house with French doors, hardwood floors, 2 fireplaces, a clawfoot tub, and a cherrywood island kitchen. 3 bedrooms all on one floor, in a real town with a hospital and a main street. The next listing reminded me why it's always worth staying until the end, because this is where things get really interesting again. $65,000 for a brick house on a corner lot in the city of Memphis, with the heat and air already running and the utilities already on. That's not a typo, and it's not a trailer. It's a real brick home, and it's the second cheapest thing in this whole video. This is a 1947 house, and brick from that era was built to last. You can see it in the walls, solid and square, comfortable floor plan, and a little den off the living space that gives you an extra room to work with. All 3 bedrooms are on the main floor. 1 bathroom serves them, tiled and functional. The front porch has a decorative iron archway over it, a little bit of old Memphis character that somebody added years ago and that you'd never find on a new build. Inside, it needs some cosmetic work, paint, cleanup, a few finishing touches, but the seller's clear that this is minor stuff, not a gut job. The utilities are on, the systems work, and it's ready for somebody to walk in and start. Out back, there's a fenced yard with mature trees and enough room for a garden, a grill, a dog, or all 3. For the price of a car, you get a fenced piece of a real city with your name on the deed. This is exactly the kind of brick home that rents steady and holds its value in a city that always needs housing. And if you're a buyer looking for the cheapest possible way into home ownership in a real American city, fix it up, live in it, build equity, this is about as low as that door gets. Now let me show you where this is. It's one of the city's older residential neighborhoods, known for its brick homes and long-established streets. Everything you need for daily life is nearby, with quick access to the rest of the city. Hyde Park isn't perfect, and I won't pretend it is. But at just $65,000, opportunities like this are becoming increasingly difficult to find in a city the size of Memphis. So here's the deal. A 1947 brick home, 3 bedrooms on 1 floor, central heat and air, a fenced corner lot, in the city that gave the world the blues. $510 a year in taxes, $65,000. The last house isn't just a good way to finish this video, it might be the one you'll remember most tomorrow. $34,900. That's the whole price, not the down payment, the whole thing. And it doesn't buy you a shed or a lot or a burned-out shell. It buys you a real little house, standing since 1937, with a front porch and a back porch and a roof over the top of it. $36 a square foot, the cheapest number in this entire video. It's a 2-bedroom cottage, right around 1,000 square feet, sitting on a level lot in the town of Dyersburg. And it's got the good bones of an old house, a covered front porch to sit on in the evening, a covered rear porch off the back, wood frame windows, and a footprint that's small but honest. Both bedrooms are on the main floor. There's a kitchen with a gas oven and a refrigerator that stay with the house, vinyl flooring, and natural gas heat already hooked up. Now, I'll be honest with you the way I always am. This is a cottage that needs work, and it's currently set up as a rental. It's not going to wow you with granite counters and a farmhouse sink, but everything that costs real money and real headaches is already handled. The utilities are all connected: electric, natural gas, water, sewer, internet available, 200 amp electrical service, a solid roof. You're not fighting the expensive stuff. You're just making a little old house pretty again. And think about what this actually is. For $34,900, you could own this outright. No mortgage, no landlord, no monthly payment hanging over your head, for less than the price of a new pickup truck. That's a paid-for roof and a paid-for porch in a real Tennessee town. There's a whole generation of people who've been told that's impossible anymore. Here it is, listed right now. Now let me show you where this is. A river town of about 16,000 people up in the northwest corner of Tennessee, sitting on the forked Deer River just a few miles east of the Mississippi. This is a real regional hub, a historic downtown square with a beautiful old courthouse at the center, boutiques and mom-and-pop restaurants along Court Street, a community college, a hospital, everything you need day to day. Memphis is an easy hour and change to the south when you want the big city. But at $34,900, you're not thinking about Memphis. You're thinking about that front porch. So that's the last one. A 1937 cottage with 2 porches, gas heat, all the utilities on, in a real river town, for $34,900. The cheapest house on the whole list, and it's still standing, still livable, still waiting. And that's the list. 12 houses across the state of Tennessee. I started this video with a simple idea, that a state everybody thinks they know is still full of places nobody's looking at. No state income tax gets people in the door, but it's the porches, the land, the old wood floors, and the prices that make them stay. You just have to be willing to get off the interstate and drive a little. Every one of these is real and listed right now. The links are down in the description. Full photos, full details, the agent for every single property. And if you want to see what I dig up next week in a different state, subscribe to my channel Tiny Bucks Houses so you catch it before everybody else does. Thanks for riding along with me. I'll see you in the next one.